Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Leslie. If you haven't been here before, you wandered across my little corner of the internet, where, as you can see, things have exploded. I wanted to show you today um, a couple of things. So, I got my Snapmaker U1. And I, of course, set it up right away and did the first run. And here's the result of the first run is this little cute little dragon. And there is the poop he created. How did we get from setting up the machine to the dragon? Well, let me tell you, life is meant to be an adventure, right? And setting up this machine was definitely one of life's adventures. Um, it's a very heavy machine, so it takes two people, okay? And then it was so well packed. So we got it out, we set it temporarily in a spot. I'm still waiting for its permanent stand to come, and we got it going. But first, we had to get all the tape off. And let me tell you, it was taped so well that nothing was moving in shipping. Which, by the way, guys, um, it took less than a week to get here. And it advised that it could take more than 2 to 3 weeks. So I was quite pleased with shipping. So I started pulling everything out, and more pieces kept coming, and more pieces kept coming. And I discovered that there was a lot of screws. There was 4 screws times 4 is 16 screws to be put in. But first, I had to take out the screws that were holding the base plate, which is normal. They all want you to do that. They're very well marked, no issues there. So we got them out. And then we installed our uh, I don't know what to call them. I'm going to call them the uh, print heads, the 4 of them. And that took some time. That took some getting used to. But once you get the first one in place, the rest of them just fall in like butter. So we did that. We got those 16 screws in. We attached their filament tubes. We attached feeders. We plugged in their little um, cables so that it would all talk to each other and work. Then we put on the spool feeders, which wasn't so bad. We had to, I guess it's called calibrate or align the actual hot end. So we had to take it and move it twice, like so, which involved loosening some screws off there. I was a little nervous about that. It does give a very clear warning to be sure to put them back just until you feel resistance, no more. And it is the same on the other 16 screws that go into the print heads. Just put them there until you feel resistance, no more, because you can go through and puncture the computer board underneath. So be be very aware of that. Then, of course, it was time to put the uh, plate on, which we did, and just, touch a few things up. It was all good. We had to install the feeders for the filament when we installed the spool holders, and that was easy. They just clipped right into the side. You just had to hold it firm so you didn't separate your side from the main frame. Then it was time to do a print, which is great. But I have one complaint. Well, I think I have 2 points of weakness. Okay. Number one being that the door is small. So when you're taking your plate out, and your print is on it, you have to tip it in order to get it out the door. You can't just bring it straight out. The other complaint I have, which makes me very nervous, is that the door itself is glass. The back window on it is plexiglass, but the door itself is actual glass. And so I'm going to be printing and putting a sticker on it so that you can tell when it's open and closed, because when it's opened, if you don't notice it, you're done. Like it's going to break. Other than that, I think that it's going to go very well. I love the detail that it got in our dragon. Let me bring it down here a bit. You can see the scales and everything. You can see that there is hardly any waste. But I did do a comparison project. So this one here, this little dragon, was done on the Snapdragon, and it's the U1. And I will show you here, just to give you a comparison, okay? That is all the poop. So this whole thing took the Snapdragon a total of 5 hours and 53 minutes, okay? Here is the comparison. This was done on the Bambu A1, okay? And it took a total time of 13 hours and 26 minutes. The exact same project. All these pieces have been put together into this one. There was a purge on the Bambu of 106.12 grams. Over here, the purge didn't even register on my scale. This was it. Like, that was the whole purge right there. Okay? And it didn't even register as compared to the purge for the Bambu. This is all purge. This is what 106.12 grams of purge looks like, okay? Then there was the prime towers. And they are basically exactly the same. 14.20 grams on the Bambu. But over here, like the height is the same, okay? But over here, the weight was 18.98 grams. And that is just, to be sure that we're getting a good clear from black to pink. So yeah, it's going to save us a fortune in time and in the purge. The other thing that I loved in buying the Bambu, you get 4 little pieces of filament when you buy something like this. They're just 4 little pieces, maybe as wide as this, maybe a bit wider, probably as wide as my glass mat, which would be about, how wide is this? 22, so probably about 24 inches, okay? Here's what we got with the Bambu, minus the colors or the stuff that we used for our little dragon here, which, by the way, weighs in at a whopping 0.6 ounces. Here we go. We got a roll of yellow. This is half a kilogram. We got half a kilogram of black. The same of red. and the same of white. And the best part is that it read it and it put it on the screen. There was no manual entry. I know Bambu does that too, but I have not yet bought Bambu filament. Um, Here, between the cost of buying it and then the cost of it coming across the border at this time, it's almost prohibitive. So there is that. What else should I tell you? It has presets, but it has lots of options for generics also. The top is not closed in, but I think that by the time winter hits, I will go ahead and buy the closure for the top, because when people are coming and going from the studio, it causes a lot of drafts, and I don't want that change in temperature in the machine where we're putting it. So there is that also. Um, so let's do it. Uh, this one was about runs at about 12 Canadian, because I am in Canada, so about $1,200 Canadian. Would I do it again? Every day and twice on Sunday. I have really enjoyed it. Um, all the noise that I hear from it is just the little click when it puts, say, parks the red and goes over and collects the yellow, because it's all magnets. You can hear them clicking together. Um, Once I got over my fear of putting it together, it wasn't at all bad. It's just the first couple of steps and getting over that fear. Just like when I put together the first bed slinger, which was the Bambu. Now, this little guy came from, and I'll never say this right. I'm sorry, but I never, ever, ever say this right. Let me have a quick look so I can spell it for you. It was on, um, it was on Patreon, and it came from, I think it said Cylix, Cylix 30. And he is a little coaster dragon. So let me see. Maybe, whoops. This little piece lifts off and you can see all the internals there. And that's what causes things to lift, like the mouth, so the eyes open. And you could take it off to wash it. I wouldn't put it in the dishwasher, but this is how it works. So let me see, can I get my eyes lined up? Let's put this on here. Uh, you guys can't really see that. Let me do some camera adjustments and come right back. Okay, guys, I got the camera arranged, and this is the idea. You put your drink on it, and the weight of the drink brings the little dragon heads, paws, and so forth up, and opens, whoops, his, my drink isn't quite heavy enough, opens his eyes. But what you're going to want to use is like a coffee cup, okay, to get the weight. But as you can see, I'll turn him a little bit. If you watch his eyes, or her eyes, they open and close with the weight of your cup. I wonder if I can find something a little bit heavier. But you get the idea. The coffee cup is going to be what weighs it and brings the head up and down. I think that I need to play with this a little bit. And then put a mark. There we go. Then put a mark at the front so that they know which way it goes back on when they take it off to wash it. And there we go. It's the cutest little thing ever. It does print in quite a few pieces, as you can see. And if you have a bed slinger, you really have to think about if you want to create all this poop or if you would like to do it all in one color and maybe paint it. That is always an option, right? Or just simply do it all in one color, but like this, but then do the eyes separate so that you still have the character eyes because they're going to be very important. Whoops. When you're putting your drink on there, they're very important to, open and close. They're the character of the character, if that makes sense. So there we go, guys. There is the comparison. The quality is good. I do see that I need to do some adjustments to get rid of some of the rings there, but that's okay. I can do that. It's the same on my bamboo. It needs a good calibration time here. The print quality, I'd say it's about equal. I'd say they about even out, even though this one's down on a bed slinger and this one is a bit more enclosed. Um, and is I can't remember the technical term, but it is not a bed slinger. The bed moves up and down, whereas the bamboo moves back and forth and up and down. So I'm not here to teach you the technical stuff. I'm just here to show you the fun stuff and let you know what I think as I get machines. And I think that you will find that there is another incoming S1 in the future because what I found is this is awesome. Don't get me wrong. My bamboo, my S1 from Anycubic, my Anycubic Cobra Max, my Flashforge 85X. I never say that in the right order. They're all great. They are not multiple tool heads, but for the time that they were made, they are awesome machines. But now we're getting into more detailed prints that take more filament, a lot more purging and changing. And so that's where the Snapmaker U1 and the new FlashForge Creator 5 and a few other machines that I've heard of, but they just kind of passed on by, um, come into the market. They are going to make it more cost effective in the saving of time and filament. Would I start with an S1 if I was just starting out now? If I saw this in comparison to this, yeah, I probably would because I am going to save a fortune in poop. I mean, this is the poop. Minus the two dragons. This box here is like full of poop. Oh, and minus the towers. This is all waste that will end up, I don't know going where. I'm hoping to find somebody with one of those machines that grinds up the waste and turns it into filament. Um, like that's just since Christmas, right? So compared to what I would have had since Christmas, if this was all the poop I was getting out of a print, yeah, I think I would go with as long as I knew that I liked the hobby and I knew that I was going to be doing quite a bit of it, I would go with the U1 for sure. I would just save my money from the get-go. Will I give up these machines? I intend to sell two of them. and invest in another S1. So I'll have two that are used for multi-plate prints where there's no color changes between the plates, and solid prints where it's all just one color. And I'll have two that will print multicolor, so I'm saving a lot more on my filament. That's the way I see this headed. I hope you guys found this interesting. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your week. Uh, I'm not sure about Friday. I have a couple of appointments to take my parents to, so we will see how that goes, how the timing works out. And I am leaving for 2 weeks at the beginning of June to take a trip and visit family. And so I will be, I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to record ahead or just take the time and uh, not post a couple of weeks. Like, I would miss 4 videos, is what it narrows down to. But decisions will be made in the next couple of days, and I will let you know on Friday if I'm back. Take care, guys, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye.